Hey there in YouTube land, and I'm doing what is actually an after request video for me. And my better half said, I was asking her ideas of like a video to make this morning. I wanted to make something different. And she said, well, do what people have been asking about. Do your want list rather than just show a collection or do an update video. Kind of do like a want list of stuff that you really want, but you either haven't got around to it, you never had the funds, it never showed up in your area. For the plethora of reasons, and today I thought I'd start with one of my favorite companies, Scream Factory. So what I did, I think I've got 15 titles here that are extreme wants for me in my collection. The thing is that if you're a collector like me, then more than likely, no matter how many videos you got, you never just see the movies that are on the shelf. You see the movies that aren't on the shelf. You see the movies that aren't there. And I know that's one of the big things for me is that I'll look and I see scanners on my Criterion collection. But what I don't see is Scanners 2 and 3, which actually has very personal meaning to me for reasons that I won't get into, but it has to do with my fledgling acting career at the time. That aren't here because basically they didn't get here. They didn't get to the North American release. Sorry, I mean they didn't get Canadian release. So I decided to start off with that one first. And actually, there's in no particular order. These are 15 Scream Factory DVDs that I sincerely hope to someday have in my collection so that when I look at that shelf over there with all the Scream Factories, I don't see those holes. And first off is Scanners 2, The New Order, and Scanners 3, The Takeover. A lot of people consider these to be extremely cheesy. They are one of the least selling Scream Factory videos that they put out. It was some of the least selling Blu-rays of all time that Scream Factory has done. They mentioned it many, many times that they took quite a hit and quite a loss on the Scanners films. I'm Canadian. The Scanners films were something that meant a lot to me. Pierre David did the sequels to Scanners. He did Scanners 2 and Scanners 3. Unfortunately, Scanners 2 and 3 did so badly that the Scanners Cop and Scanners Cop 2 probably will never come out from Scream Factory, so we just got to hope that comes out through another way or another source. These are movies that are from my youth, movies that I actually I put video out there for roles in one of these films here, and got close. But anyway, Scanners 2 and Scanners 3. That's the first one that I really want. I really love that Scream Factory is doing these double features. A lot of people don't like them, or they feel like everything should have their own edition. I think movies like Scarecrow and stuff like that, you definitely deserve their own edition, but I love the double features. Number 2, another one that never made it here for some reason in Canada. Southern Comfort was one that you don't hear a lot about because it was only in the United States. It is a fantastic little film. It's got Carrie and Powers Booth. I love Powers Booth. I think he's a fantastic actor. But a great little film that never ever got here in Canada. It was never released here. And for some places where I went to go shopping at the time, it was either ultra expensive or it didn't ship to my area. Now, that happens sometimes. That happens with some of the Doctor Who stuff that I want to get, or some of the Arrow videos when I go to the UK. I actually got to go to the website now. I got to pay a fortune unless there's a sale on, because the movies are ultra expensive because they're considered imports. And this one here, Southern Comfort, for some reason, I'm not sure what it was not released here in Canada. If you manage to get it in the store somewhere like Ontario or something like that, you bought an import that wasn't supposed to be released there. And lucky you, because I really want this one. I love the cover on this one here. It's a really cool little film. If you see it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't like to give it away, but I really did enjoy this film, and it is killer. That did not come out here in Canada, and it's so expensive to buy. Yeah. Number 3, Class of 1984. This was on my list of movies to buy in my pre-order list. This one, there's a couple movies that were in my pre-order list that aren't there anymore because of fun reasons, and basically other things came up. My dad has a birthday coming up, so things take priority. That happens when you have a life and stuff like that. If I was like just a poor college student, I would like probably have all of this stuff because I'd be an idiot. But luckily I've got family and friends around me. And anyway, Class of 1984, if all of the ones that I regret not picking up, Class of 1984 is one of them. And the upcoming Dog Soldiers is number two. Both of those are movies that I've wanted throughout uh, my collecting career. I was lucky enough, before I moved here to St. John's, to own a copy of the Anchor Bay edition of Class of 1984. I watched it with my son, introduced him to the film as well. And it was something that stood out to me. It was, aside from being a guy that comes from the 80s, and this was a really, really good film. It was a great revenge film. Perry King was fantastic in this movie. Mark Lester did a great job directing this film. It was just one of those there. So if you got Class of 1984 in your collection, congratulations. It's an awesome film. If you're getting the upcoming Dog Soldiers, that's an amazing film. Sean Pertwee does an incredible job, and the wear of effects are phenomenal. Movies like that belong in your collection. Stuff. There are just some movies that really just suit. Like last night, I talked to you guys about From Whisper to a Scream, and I gave it as high a recommendation as I can give anything. And Class of 1984 is one of the movies I'm going to give as high a recommendation as I can give. One of these days, it still hovers around the $26 range. Fortunately, I've got a few that are on pre-order and stuff like that now, so that's not something that I can pick up, but hopefully. Next up is Invaders from Mars. If you guys watch my channel a lot, you probably see me talking about like a lot of the Tobe Hooper stuff, especially stuff like Eaten Alive, which was one of my favorites. One of my all-time favorite Tobe Hooper films is this one here, Tobe Hooper, Tobe Hooper. Hear conflicting reports on that name. Invaders from Mars is just a fun little film, and I was like, in between picking up Escape from New York. This is how much I like Invaders from Mars. Escape from New York is an awesome, amazing John Carpenter film that I needed for my collection, that I love. But I actually thought, like a moment, not to get Escape from New York and actually get Invaders from Mars at the time, because it was the only time that showed up in our area, and hasn't shown up since. But it's an incredible film. It's very different. It's a science fiction film. It's a real throwback to the old 50s and 60s sci-fi. And not only that, it does a good job. There's a lot of humor in there. There's a lot of it kind of treads a line between the humor and the sci-fi. It's a little bit of darkness, but it's a fun film, and it got lost in the shuffle along the way, but it's really one that, if you haven't seen it, it really bears the chance to rediscover it. It's not The Thing or anything like that. It's a much lighter film than that, but it's good I like the way it's done. Next up is The Incredible Melting Man, and this one it's lower on the list, but still on the list. Eventually I want to have them all. Incredible Melting Man and The Nest were two that kind of like, I didn't put them both up there, but these were the ones that kind of tied for this place right here. And it's just a fun film. The special effects are really fun to see in this one here. But there's also a Arrow edition. So the only thing that kept me from buying Incredible Melting Man was finding out which edition was the superior edition. I'm not still sure, but it's a great fun little film, and it's the type of ones like Invaders from Mars, Incredible Melting Man, stuff like that, I can actually watch with my better half. She doesn't watch a lot of the horror and stuff like that, but she does manage to watch some of the sci-fi type stuff. So Life Force will be one that eventually I'll probably be able to watch with her, because one, it's got Patrick Stewart in it, and two, it's aliens. Robot Jocks. I know that may seem like an unusual choice, but I'm a big fan of the whole Full Moon era, the Charles Band stuff. And if you watch my videos, then you know that Dolls was top of my list for best Scream Factory release of all time, and that was right up there with because it was such a unique one. People will go for these collector's editions and say this is the ultimate edition, or the Halloween is the ultimate stuff. But sooner or later, Halloween's coming out. You know that all these are going to be all coming out. Movies like Dolls and Robot Jocks and From Whisper to a Scream, these are not movies that you expect to get any decent editions, or even on Blu-ray. So it's really cool to actually see them actually put some love into these films there. And they're cheesy films, they're fun films. But it's what harkens back to my time of going back to the video stores. But basically going in there, looking up through the whole VHS section, picking out the latest Full Moon film, and just going home and just watching it, or going to my dorm. And a bunch of us would get together, we'd play Risk, and we'd watch a bunch of Full Moon movies. And that was pretty much college for me. Yeah, that was my college experience, watching Full Moon and playing Risk and flirting, lots and lots of flirting, because college, guys, it's college. Next up is one that I seriously want. I love these double features. It's Food of the Gods and Frogs. They may seem like very cheesy films. They are very cheesy films. Frogs has Raymond Land in it. Food of the Gods has a gigantic rat. And they're fun movies. I mean, they don't take them too seriously, but they're just really fun films. You sit down, and I love monster movies. I really think that there's a lot of joy that can be taken out of these films. And some of these can seem pretty dark and stuff like that, but they're so cheesy and they're so fun that it's a throwback. I mean, it really is, a throwback to those older, more simpler times. And although they may have shoved in a little bit of extra gore, there may be some nudity that wasn't in the earlier stuff, it still really is a throwback to that time when monster movies had monsters. This is a whole nature runs amok thing, and I do like the nature runs amok thing. It's a great motif in film, and I think that it's something that can be used over and over again, because we as human beings can be bastards to the environment around us, and that is a sad but true fact. So let us see us get our comeuppance, at least on the screen, so that maybe we can actually think about things. That being said, next up is Emperor of the Ants and Jaws of Satan. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember Jaws of Satan that well, but I love snake movies. But here's the thing, Emperor of the Ants stars Joan Collins. To this very day, Joan Collins is one of the great crushes of my life. I'm not sure how old Joan Collins is, in her 70s now, I guess, at this point at least. And there's two people that I tell my better half that I have like these celebrity crushes. We have these crushes that, if you got that chance, that's it. This is your crush. You'd have to at least think about it. And for me, actually, Joan Collins and Madonna are two of the people on that list that I'm like, that meant a lot to me. As a kid, and it's never been released on Blu-ray, I don't think. There's a movie called Homework, and it's a pretty simple film. It's about a teenage boy whose friend's mother is Joan Collins, and he's seduced by this older, attractive. Every teenage boy's dream to be seduced by Joan Collins. Trust me, it was. And I cannot tell you how many times I watched Homework. So many times. So many nights of... When I was supposed to be doing homework, I was watching the film Homework. And that being said, I love Joan Collins and pretty much everything that she's in. I started watching Dynasty and was blown away that she showed up in the second season, because this wasn't the day of internet and stuff like that. There was no knowing ahead of time who was going to be behind that like veil or anything like that. Especially since it wasn't her, it was like some producer's wife or something like that. It was standing in because they hadn't cast a role at the time. But she just blossomed in that movie, of course. But Empire of the Ants, I just love it. It's very cheesy and actually creeps me out. Those big ants, as cheesy as they look, actually scared the crap out of me when I was younger. Beneath, Larry Fessenden. Scream Factory just recently announced that they're doing a Larry Fessenden box set. Out of all of the newer ones that are out there, Beneath is the one that I long to have the most. It's never shown up here on Blu-ray. I know that in the States, I think it was at the Walmart, the X, for $10 they had Beneath and Monkey's Paw. And I was like, wow. That was incredible. Larry Fessenden did movies like Wendigo, which is another favorite of mine, which I cannot wait till Scream Factory puts that on in the Larry Fessenden box set. But Beneath, I've looked at the trailer for so many times, and it really interests me. I love these type of films. Kind of got like this kind of killer monster fish type of thing. It's got a kind of like aspects of The Raft by Stephen King in it, and even in some certain ways, maybe aspects of The Mist as well. But it's one that's always interesting. I've never seen the film. I've never seen it, and I refuse to go Netflix it or anything like that until I actually have the Blu-ray in my hands that I can actually watch it. Then I will watch Beneath. More recent one, and again another one that didn't come around here. Carrie with Angela Bettis and Carrie 2: The Rage. Again, I found these really good. I haven't seen a Carrie movie that I really didn't like. The new one with Chloe Grace Moretz, I like that. I actually really did enjoy that because there was some great characterization within the film. I don't think anything's ever going to beat the original Carrie in the way that they did it. It was just one of the perfect King adaptations. But that being said, there was nothing at all wrong with either one of these films. Both of these films stand on their own, do a great job. The first one there, Carrie, it's a remake that was done on TV. It was actually meant as kind of a backdoor pilot, kind of for a TV series. They had meant to do a Carrie TV series. It didn't take off, unfortunately. This was a two-part miniseries. That's some great stuff. And Angela Bettis was an amazing choice. She is a very unique looking woman, and she has, I think she's beautiful in her own right. I actually find her extremely attractive, but she does have a very unique, strange look about her. And she really did well in the role as Carrie. You could see her doing that role, like, if you've seen her in anything. She in movies like May, for instance, you would know that Angela Bettis was a perfect choice for that role. Carrie 2, The Rage, actually originally wasn't called Carrie 2. That was like, the Carrie parts where I think were supposedly added on later. It was actually a different script altogether called The Rage. And I think, I'm not sure it's around anniversary time or they want to get a new Carrie movie out there, but they actually added in the scenes, wrote in scenes with things that would relate it to Carrie and make her like, Carrie's long lost sister type of thing. So that's how that one worked. And I really love to have these. It's such great. I've got the original Carrie on Blu-ray. I've got the remake of Carrie on Blu-ray, but I have not been able to score these two, and they look amazing. Isn't that a great cover too? Just The Doctors and the Devils. As a Timothy Dalton fan and a fan of the Burke and Hare story, The Doctors and the Devils was such a great job. Jonathan Pryce is in this one here as well. It's definitely one to check out. It's one that I've wanted to see for a long, long time. I know that when I was really young, I saw this, but well, not really young. It was when I was younger. But I don't remember it. I don't remember the films that well, and I really want to revisit it. I know this is something that would mean a lot to my dad. My dad probably has this one because this type of film speaks like for my dad. My dad's a big Amicus fan, big horror fan, big Hammer fan, big fan of like gothic horror, and this is kind of what this is: gothic horror with a bit of tongue in cheek. Next up is Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2. As cheesy as these may seem, these are favorites of mine. When I originally saw Ghoulies, I was extremely young. But I remember it really well because my best friend, Jamie, and me sat down in his living room. And speaking of crushes and homework and Joan Collins, I had a huge crush on my best friend's mom. She was like dark-haired and she well-read. And yeah, everybody's got that like crush. That was mine though. She was intellectual, and it was kind of like my first real intellectual crush. So we're there, and of course I am so enraptured in everything that she's saying, and we got a bunch of movies that we're going to watch, and so I'm trying to seem urbane and cultured to this fantastic woman, and she would become like a great friend as I got older, and here I am, like with Ghoulies to watch with my friend. So all aspects of like sophistication out the window, because Ghoulies is going to be coming on, and I had a blast. Is Ghoulies a good movie? Not a good movie, but it's one that I love, and it's one that means a lot to my child. When I talk about a lot of these films, a lot of the movies that I get relate to something that happened in my youth, something that happened in my childhood. And when I watch them again, some people may say, "Oh, I don't like that movie," or whatever. It just snatches me back to that point in my life and that time that I just feel really, really good about me. It makes me feel really, watching a lot of these movies, watching these horror movies, some of this cheesy stuff that a lot of people don't understand. Not only does it harken back to my youth, but it harkens back to a complete time of innocence and I have a passion for my films because my films bring out a passion in me that is very, it's very rare. But Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2 are actually one of those. It'll get you in the end. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that not one of the most awesome covers? That was the cover of the VHS, and that is why we grabbed it. Jamie was like, "We gotta get this," and I was like, I was pretty movie snobby at the time. Like, I don't know if you can get something that has somebody come as a creature coming out of a toilet. He's like, "Come on, here, and this is hilarious stuff," and I'm like, my humor is a little bit more refined than that. I had a blast. It was a fun film. We enjoyed ourselves. We ate potato chips. We drank pop. We watched Ghoulies, and that was one of the memories that I have from he's in New Orleans now. He's married. He's got 2 kids. He's a psychiatric evaluator, and he's a fantastic person. One of the actual genuinely nice people that I've actually been able to meet in my life where he is exactly what you see on the surface, and that's a really good thing. So I don't know, he doesn't usually see these videos, but if you do, Jamie, you are missed. And he came back, and we're at Starbucks. I remember it was I just started dating my better half, I think, at the time, and we sat down and we talked for like 7 hours, and it was like no time at all had gone missing. And I've got to get this movie sometime soon because it really brings me back to that fact that no matter how long it's been or what's happened, I have that time and place where we reconnect and no time is missing, and that means a lot to me. The Island with Michael Caine. Don't blink. Michael Caine doesn't like it when you blink. So, uh, this is one of the early Scream Factory releases. Not an easy find around here now. When Scream Factory first came in here, it came in at HMV, and they were the one place that would really carry pretty much every release that they could get their hands on. And Scream Factory here, I don't like to order a lot from online. I'll order some Amazon stuff, but I really like to support the local places. HMV and Newfoundland, St. John's, is big on genre releases. They don't last. Scream Factory comes in here in St. John's, and Scream Factory goes out within a week. So if you don't pick it up, if you don't grab what's there at the time, I had Escape from New York and Invaders from Mars up in my hand. I'm like looking at my better half, like, which one of these can I get? Hoping she's going to say both. She doesn't at the time. We can't do it. But so I get Escape from New York, and she's like, But I know the exact second that I put that down, that the next day or the day after that, I'm going to go back, and that's not going to be there. And The Island was one of those where it showed up for a while. The Island showed up, the Nest showed up, and those would keep showing up. And along with the film, oh man, what was it called? Death Valley? Yeah, that was a really cool one. You haven't seen that one, it's a really good one to watch. It's more of a suspense film. It's got Peter Billingsley in it, and it's a really cool film. But The Island's one that it's kind of a parody type of film, and Michael Caine has to gain respect back from his son. And as a dad, it sticks with me that way because it is a father-son movie. It is about a father reclaiming his son, and like, I dug it. It's not for everybody, but it was definitely for me. Next up is Saturn III. This is the one I want to watch with my better half. Roy Dotrice does the voice of the robot in here, and if you God, there are some books. I think it was the recently Roy Dotrice did he's like a distinguished British actor. There are some like novels, like those audio books that he did, and it got to like when you're doing the sex scenes in the books, and there's an awkward hilarity to listening to distinguished British actor Roy Dotrice describe book sex. It was really awkward. Saturn III is a really cool film. It's got Farrah Fawcett, Kirk Douglas. It's one of those like lost little classics that not a lot of people remember, but when they do, they say, "Oh, it's that film," and it's got a very cool looking robot on there. It's just one of those. Again, one of the ones that my better half actually wants. This is one of the few Scream Factories that Hind actually wants. She looks at it a lot, and I see her look at it too. So this is actually her selection in the Scream Factories that she wants. The Monkey's Paw. This one was released, and it just had a really cool trailer with it. Tony Todd, I think, is in this film, isn't he? Yeah, and there's like there's a neat little aspect to it. And this one was released on its own, but it was also released in the United States with Beneath. They kind of did them both together. It was kind of Walmart exclusive over there, and they did it with on their own. So I know that on the own, it's got a slip cover too. Like there's a nice little slippy dippy cover, which people tend to like, and I'm one of those people. The Monkey's Paw is just really cool. I've never seen it. I want to see it. There's only one Scream Factory movie that's ever disappointed me when I watched it. The 5 Chilling Visions that I recommend that you don't pick up. It's rarely do I see an anthology that I don't like, but that's it. Let's see. There's an announcement here from the Cathode Ray guys are supposed to be doing their show tonight. And every once in a while I'll go on here and I'll see like something that's being released. And what is being released? 5 Films of Fright, the William Castle Horror Collection. That's on my list of things to get. I love William Castle. I actually went to one of those cinema retrospectives in a theater where I actually got to see all these films back when I was a kid. Anyway, that is my 15 Scream Factory wants that I can think of. There's only a couple others that I would put on that list. And Scream Factory put out a Celluloid, kind of a TV Terror double feature that I always wanted to get. And I saw it here once, and then it was gone. It was never came back. And they put out these 4 sets, where basically there's 4 horror movies in each set. I wanted to have those, and even put like a couple action ones. I wanted like that's Shout Factory, which Scream Factory's parent company. They did one called with Cyclone on it, and Exterminator 2, and those are 2 ones that I extremely want. That's my want video for right now. I'll be doing more want videos based on different companies. A lot of people have asked for this, so Parsnip was one of the people that asked and basically said, you should do this. Better have saying, you do the collection videos, show the stuff that you don't have, show the stuff that you really want and that you look for. So here we go. This is the first one. Hope you guys enjoy it. For me right now, I'm just finishing off my Coke, and because I'm really a caffeine addict, will seriously be time for tea. And I know sometimes we look at our collections and we don't see the collection. We don't see everything that we got. We see the stuff that we don't got, and that's kind of a collector's mentality. That's the way it works. But it's hard to try and see the stuff you got. Try and look and be like grateful for all the things that you've been managed to amass. Although it's hard because as a collector, you are always looking for the one that fits that spot. And for me, it's not just the movie that fits that spot in that hole in my collection. It's the movie that fits that spot in that hole in me and what it means to me. And there's so many films that do mean that to me, which makes it doubly hard when looking for stuff, because certain films, certain shows just feel, when I get them, there's like this little, it's like there's this little jigsaw puzzle that slowly comes together. And as I amass the stuff that I amass and collect the stuff that I collect and get to watch it and enjoy it and actually get to rewatch things and see it through the eyes of my better half, see it through the eyes of my children, see it through the eyes of my friends, and see their reactions to the movies, the things that shaped the person that I am today and made me, and be able to do this channel and just hopefully share my passion, that each little piece of this puzzle as it's coming together, this tapestry, it's an amazing experience and it's an amazing journey. And I hope that you're getting that with your collecting. I hope that is one of the things you seriously get, and that, because collecting is amazing, but when you have that extra level of like connection there, it's just a beautiful thing. Thanks for watching, guys. For me right now, it's time for tea. Normally I say hello to the big Pin Lord in the sky, but you can't see him right now, but say it to him, the invisible Pin Lord in the sky, and his friend the Phantom. Have a great day. I have an amazing Saturday. I have bills to pay and chores to do, but I'm hoping to get on here again, at least make a couple more videos today. But I got to go over to my better half, give her a hug, because I'm feeling kind of emotional right now from this year. Have a great day.